The Grammar of Fantasy is, in my opinion, the most undervalued book on memory. But let's start talking about Gianni Rodari. Gianni Rodari is an Italian writer, primary teacher, and he was awarded with the prestigious Anderson Prize. Rodari in his book presents numerous of wonderful techniques to create stories. He compares any word to a stone thrown into a pond. Using his words, a word thrown into the mind at random produces waves, and it causes an infinite series of chain reactions. For example, the word stone can recall words that begin with S, or others that rhyme with own, stone, bone. But it also recalls places, such as, in the case of Rodari, the sanctuary of Santa Caterina del Sasso. But let's go on with the three major concepts in this book. The first one is the fantastic pairs. Rodari calls fantastic pairs or fantastic combinations as powerful combinations to create a story. The fantastic pairs should follow three rules. The first one, they must belong to different categories. For example, cat and horse together are not as strong as horse and car. You can use a preposition to create an image, for example, a horse in a car. And you must create an unreal story using a verb, a horse driving a car. Later on, he clarifies something that is quite obvious nowadays in the memory technique, that we can use our imagery as a metaphor for something else. In his own words, the concept is impossible without its opposite. Keep it simple. If you want to learn a new concept using metaphor, you can combine real with unreal. I give you an example. Imagine that you want to remember some concept related with philosophy. For example, that the moral philosophy of Kant is a philosophy of freedom. We can use the fantastic pairs, and we have Kant and the word freedom. So we have all one different categories, okay, because Kant is a person and freedom is an abstract noun. We can use preposition, well, could, but we don't need because freedom is an abstract noun, so we don't have to put it in anything. And then we have to use a verb to create an unreal story. So, for example, Freedom, for example, is a famous song written by George Michael, or we can imagine Kant dancing on singing the George Michael song Freedom. We have created a fantastic pair, and we can use this imagery to remember a concept of philosophy. Second one, the creative mistake. In every mistake lies the possibility of a story. From a single word, one can derive many mistakes, many stories. We want to remember that the vitamin B is good for the bones. Okay, so we can write down the word instead of bone, done. We can think of the word done as a sick bone that needs a dose of vitamin B. Rodari suggests that we should jot down mistakes that we have seen on TV or wherever, because they can enhance our imagination. The last one is fantastic hypothesis. What if one day a man woke up transformed into a cockroach? Here's how Kafka wrote the Metamorphosis. We also can use this fantastic hypothesis to memorize. So we want to study that the Jefferson City is the capital of Missouri. So we can say, what if Missouri is populated only by the characters of the TV series The Jefferson? And we have a hook to remember that Jefferson City is the capital of Missouri. In order to create a fantastic hypothesis, it said that we should have name plus verb, as in the fantastic pair, or subject plus object. His book, The Grammar of Fantasy, is an endless manual of creativity. He also talks about acronyms, how to create cards, or how can you help students with math using story. I really recommend you read this book if you want to develop even more your creativity and discover new ways to improve your imagination for your memory.